This is the Behind the Line podcast, coming to you from the wacky left coast capital of Seattle. News from the Pacific Northwest, the left coast, the U.S., and the world that matters. The stories the MSM won't talk about. Deciphering the truth through all the lies. For more, visit BehindTheLinePodcast.com.
Trump took office on January 20th, 2025. He made his first day in office one to remember, signing a record number of executive orders and revoking many of Biden's misplaced orders and actions. You can already feel the changes that Trump has enacted. President Trump's America first priorities make America safe again. President Trump will take bold action to secure our border and protect American communities. This includes ending Biden's catch and release policies, reinstating Remain in Mexico, building the wall, ending asylum for illegal border crossers, cracking down on criminal sanctuaries, and enhancing vetting and screening of aliens. President Trump's deportation operation will address the record border crossings of criminal aliens under the prior administration. The president is suspending refugee resettlement after communities were forced to house large and unsustainable populations of migrants, straining community safety and resources. The armed forces, including the National Guard, will engage in border security, which is national security, and will be deployed to the border to assist existing law enforcement personnel. President Trump will begin the process of designating cartels, including the dangerous Tren de Aragua, as foreign terrorist organizations, and use the Alien Enemies Act to remove them. The Department of Justice will seek the death penalty as the appropriate punishment for heinous crimes against humanity, including those who kill law enforcement officers and illegal migrants who maim and murder Americans. Make America affordable and energy dominant again. The president will unleash American energy by ending Biden's policies of climate extremism, streamlining permitting, and reviewing for rescission all regulations that impose undue burdens on energy production and use, including mining and processing of non-fuel minerals. President Trump's energy actions empower consumer choice in vehicles, shower heads, toilets, washing machines, light bulbs, and dishwashers. President Trump will declare an energy emergency and use all necessary resources to build critical infrastructure. President Trump's energy policies will end leasing to massive wind farms that degrade our natural landscapes and fail to serve American energy consumers. President Trump will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. All agencies will take emergency measures to reduce the cost of living. President Trump will announce the America First trade policy. America will no longer be beholden to foreign organizations for our national tax policy, which punishes American businesses. Drain the swamp. The president will usher a golden age for America by reforming and improving the bureaucracy to work for the American people. He will freeze bureaucrat hot hiring, except in essential areas, to end the onslaught of useless and overpaid DEI activists buried into the federal workforce. He will pause burdensome and radical regulations not yet in effect that Biden announced. President Trump is announcing an unprecedented slate of executive orders for rescission. President Trump is planning for improved accountability of government bureaucrats. The American people deserve the highest quality service from people who love our country. The president will also return federal workers to work, as only 6% of employees currently work in person. President Trump is taking swift action to end the weaponization of government against political rivals and ordering all document retention as required by law. President Trump is also ending the unconstitutional censorship by the federal government. No longer will government employees pick and require the erasure of entirely true speech. On the president's direction, the State Department will have an America First foreign policy. Bring back American values. The president will establish male and female as biological reality and protect women from radical gender ideology. American landmarks will be named to appropriately honor our nation's history. Trump has signed the following executive orders since day one: guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion presidential actions. January 20th, 2025, restoring names that honor American greatness presidential actions. January 20th, 2025 designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations, and specially designated global terrorist presidential actions January 20th, 2025 reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to government service presidential actions January 20th, 2025 ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing presidential actions January 20th, 2025 defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government presidential actions January 20th, 2025 establishing and implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency presidential actions January 20th, 2025 America First Policy Directive to the Secretary of State presidential actions January 20th, 2025 protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Unleashing Alaska's Extraordinary Resource Potential presidential actions January 2025 Protecting the American People Against Invasion presidential actions January 20th, 2025 the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Global Tax Deal presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Organization of the National Security Council and Subcommittees presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Reevaluating and Realigning United States Foreign Aid Presidential Actions January 20th, 2025 Temporary Withdrawal of all areas on the Outer Continental Shelf from offshore wind leasing and review of the federal government's leasing and permitting practices for wind projects presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Declaring a National Energy Emergency presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Restoring Accountability for Career Senior Executives presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Promoting Beautiful Federal Civic Architecture presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Restoring the Death Penalty and Protecting Public Safety presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Putting People Over Fish Stopping Radical Environmentalism to Provide Water to Southern California presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Securing Our Borders presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Realigning the United States Refugee Admissions Program presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Unleashing American Energy presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Clarifying the military's role in protecting territorial integrity of the United States presidential actions January 20th, 2025 America First Trade Policy presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Memorandum to resolve the backlog of security clearances for Executive Office of the President personnel presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive governmental information presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workforce presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Application of Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications to TikTok presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Granting pardons and commutation of sentences for certain offenses relating to the events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6th, 2021 presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Putting America First in international environmental agreements presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Delivering emergency price relief for American families and defeating the cost of living crisis presidential actions January 20th, 2025 Hiring freeze presidential actions January 20th, 2025 regulatory freeze from pending review presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 return to in-person work presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 ending the weaponization of the federal government presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions presidential actions, January 2025. The inaugural address remarks, January 20th. 2025 flying the flag of the United States at full staff on Inauguration Day presidential actions, January 20th, 2025. President Trump designates chairman and acting chairman presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 President Trump announces acting cabinet and cabinet level positions. Presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 President Trump announces sub-cabinet appointments presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 President Trump announces cabinet and cabinet level appointments presidential actions, January 20th. 2025 President Trump's America First Priorities briefings and statements, January 20th. 2025 Keeping Americans Safe in Aviation presidential actions, January 21st. 2025 Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity Presidential Actions, January 21st. 2025 Fact Sheet President Donald J. Trump redesignates the Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization. Presidential Actions, January 22nd. 2025 Executive Grant of Clemency for Terrence Sutton Presidential Actions, January 22nd. 2025 Designation of Ansar Allah as a foreign terrorist organization presidential actions, January 22nd. 2025 Executive Grant of Clemency for Andrew Zabowski presidential actions, January 22nd. 2025 Fact Sheet President Donald J. Trump protects the states and the American people by closing the border to illegals via proclamation presidential actions, January 22nd. 2025 Fact Sheet President Donald J. Trump declares a national emergency at the southern border presidential actions, January 22nd. 2025 Fact Sheet President Donald J. Trump delivers emergency price relief for American families to defeat the cost of living crisis presidential actions, January 22nd. 2025 nominations transmitted to the Senate presidential actions. January 22nd, 2025 Trump freed 1,500 prisoners being held for the January 6th debacle. Many wrongfully prosecuted, held without trial, and many who were prosecuted were given much harsher sentences than people for similar charges. Trump also stated this week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. This is good news for service members who were wrongly targeted by Biden and his flunkies during the pandemic. The following executive actions were revoked. Executive Order 13985 of January 20th, 2021. Executive Order 13986 of January 20th, 2021. Executive Order 13987 of January 20th, 2021, organizing and mobilizing the United States government to provide a unified and effective response to combat COVID-19 and to provide United States leadership on global health and security. Executive Order 13988 of January 20th, 2021. Executive Order 13989 of January 20th, 2021. Executive Order 13990 of January 20th, 2021, protecting public health and the environment and restoring science to tackle the climate crisis. Executive Order 13992 of January 20th, 2021. Executive Order 13993 of January 20th, 2021. Executive Order 13995 of January 21st, 2021. Executive Order 13996 of January 21st, 2021, establishing the COVID-19 Pandemic Testing Board and ensuring a sustainable public health workforce for COVID-19 and other biological threats. Executive Order 13997 of January 21st, 2021. Executive Order 13999 of January 21st, 2021. Executive Order 14,000 of January 21st, 2021. Executive Order 14002 of January 22nd, 2021. Executive Order 14003 of January 22nd, 2021. Executive Order 14004 of January 25th, 2021. Executive Order 14006 of January 26th, 2021. Executive Order 14007 of January 27th, 2021. Executive Order 14008 of January 27th, 2021. Executive Order 14009 of January 28th, 2021. Executive Order 1410 of February 2nd, 2021, creating a comprehensive regional framework to address the causes of migration, to manage migration throughout North and Central America, and to provide safe and orderly processing of asylum seekers at the United States border. Executive Order 14011 of February 2nd, 2021. Executive Order 14012 of February 2nd, 2021. Executive Order 14013 of February 4th, 2021. Executive Order 14015 of February 14th, 2021. Executive Order 14018 of February 24th, 2021. Executive Order 14019 of March 7th, 2021. Executive Order 14020 of March 8th, 2021. Executive Order 14021 of March 8th, 2021. Executive Order 14022 of April 1st, 2021. Executive Order 14023 of April 9th, 2021. Executive Order 14027 of May 7th, 2021. Executive Order 14029 of May 14th, 2021. Executive Order 14030 of May 20th, 2021. Executive Order 14031 of May 28th, 2021. Executive Order 14035 of June 25th, 2021. Executive Order 14037 of August 5th, 2021. Executive Order 14044 of September 13th, 2021. Executive Order 14045 of September 13th, 2021. White House Initiative on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunity for Hispanics. Executive Order 14049 of October 11th, 2021, White House Initiative on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunity for Native Americans and Strengthening Tribal Colleges and Universities. Executive Order 14050 of October 19th, 2021. Executive Order 14052 of November 15th, 2021. Executive Order 14055 of November 18th, 2021. Executive Order 14057 of December 8th, 2021. Executive Order 14060 of December 15th, 2021. Executive Order 14069 of March 15th, 2022. Executive Order 14070 of April 5th, 2022. Executive Order 14074 of May 25th, 2022. Executive Order 14075 of June 15th, 2022. Executive Order 14082 of September 12th, 2022. Executive Order 14084 of September 30th, 2022. Executive Order 14087 of October 14th, 2022. Executive Order 14089 of December 13th, 2022. Executive Order 14091 of February 16th, 2023. The Presidential Memorandum of March 13th, 2023. Executive Order 14094 of April 6th, 2023. Executive Order 14096 of April 21st, 2023. Executive Order 14099 of May 9th, 2023. Executive Order 14110 of October 30th, 2023. Executive Order 1415 of February 1st, 2024. Executive Order 14124 of July 17th, 2024. Executive Order 14134 of January 3rd, 2025. Executive Order 14135 of January 3rd, 2025. Executive Order 14136 of January 3rd, 2025. Executive Order 14137 of January 3rd, 2025. Executive Order 14138 of January 3rd, 2025. Executive Order 14139 of January 3rd, 2025. The Presidential Memorandum 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 of January 6th, 2025. The Presidential Memorandum of January 6th, 2025. The Presidential Memorandum of January 14th, 2025. The Presidential Memorandum of January 14th, 2025. Executive Order 14143 of January 16th, 2025. 80 executive orders and memorandums were revoked on day one, and he went further than just the revocations. Implementation. To effectuate the revocations described in Section 2 of this order, the heads of each agency shall take immediate steps to end federal implementation of unlawful and radical DEI ideology. The Director of the Domestic Policy Council and the Director of the National Economic Council shall review all federal government actions taken in pursuant to the orders, memoranda, and proclamations listed in Section 2 of this order, and take necessary steps to rescind, replace, or amend such actions as appropriate. Within 45 days of the date of this order, the Director of the DPC and the Director of the NEC shall submit to the President an additional list of orders, memoranda, and proclamations issued by the prior administration that should be rescinded, as well as a list of replacement orders, memoranda, or proclamations to increase American prosperity. The National Security Advisor shall immediately begin a complete and thorough review of all national security memoranda issued from January 20th, 2021 through January 20th, 2025 for harm to national security, domestic resilience, and American values. No later than 45 days from the date of this order, the NSA shall recommend to the President NSMs for rescission. The Trump administration has ordered that officials overseeing diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts across federal agencies be placed on administrative leave and to take steps to close their offices by 5 p.m. on Wednesday 1. The FBI has already closed down its diversity, equity, and inclusion offices last month, 23. The order gives all federal agencies 60 days to close all offices and positions dedicated to DEI and dismantle any aspects of programs, grants, and contracts related to diversity, equity, or environmental justice. 4. This is just the beginning. Hopefully, President Trump can undo all the damage caused by the Biden administration and bring back a great America. He has his work cut out for him, and I'm sure the Democrats will do whatever they can to try and stop him.
Thanks for listening to the Behind the Line podcast. For more, visit behindthelinepodcast.com, leftcoastnews.net, or shtf.net. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are found. Please subscribe, like, and share to get our content out there. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Truth Social, Gab, Telegram, Substack, Brighteon, Rumble, the Newscaster Studio, and all other forms of social media. Thanks for listening.